let me ask you something, and this is pretty much going to expose everything. So, if you vanish for 30 days, would your business grow or collapse into the chaos? And if the answer is collapse, then congratulations, you don't own a business. Of course, I'm being sarcastic, but you own the world's most expensive job, complete with a boss, your business, that never lets you rest. And the answer to that has nothing to do with how talented you may or may not be, but I'm assuming you're very talented. It has everything to do with how trapped you become. So today I'm going to show you 3 systems that transform me from a prisoner of my own success into an architect of my own freedom. And this pretty much saved my family, saved my life, saved everything. So I scaled to $20 million through pure brute force, 80-hour weeks, constant crisis management, zero margin for life, that I was supposed to be building this for my family. And I thought that being indispensable is what made me valuable, but that actually is what exactly made me trapped. The shift that took me from chaos to control wasn't working harder or getting more talented. It was installing 3 specific systems that let my companies run better without me, better than they ever did, without me micromanaging every single detail. And here's what shocked me the most. When I stepped back, revenue didn't drop. It actually grew 150% because I finally stopped being the bottleneck that was choking my own business. All right, so let's get into the system. System number 1 is the owner operating system. And this is how you eliminate yourself as the bottleneck forever. So this system defines 3 things. Decision rights. Who decides what, when, and at what level. Then scoreboards. This is what gets measured and who owns each metric. And then meeting cadence, when your team connects without you and without needing you for every little detail. And here's what happens when the system goes live. Meetings shrink from hours to minutes. Slack notifications just disappear. You're like hardly getting pinged anymore, and your team stops asking permission and starts owning the outcomes. You transform from the person who solves every problem to the person who built the system that prevents these very same problems. Now, the second system, the automation intelligence layer, because technology buys back time before you even hire a single person. Most founders think that automation replaces humans, but that's backwards. Automation means upgrading humans by removing the repetitive, soul-crushing tasks that waste and kill their creativity. Every email sequence, every follow-up, every data entry task, every routine decision should be handled by systems and not your team. And the result? Your people focus on growth and innovation instead of grunt work. And you get your evenings back because the business handles routine operations while you sleep. System number 3, the outcome delegation framework, the difference between freedom and just more sophisticated slavery. Now, most founders, they delegate tasks, but they still depend on you for guidance, approval, and constant check-ins. Freedom comes when you delegate the outcomes. You assign the finish line, not the footsteps. You define what success looks like and then get out of the way and let them figure out how to achieve it. With your guidance and training, of course, but that's documented, and then you get out of the way. And that's how you transform managers who need you into owners who don't. Now let me show you what happens when these systems go live. My friend Stacy installed these 3 systems and he went from 70-hour weeks to 28-hour weeks while his business grew 40%. And his daughter asked, "Daddy, can we keep doing these school pickups like this every day?" My friend Greg, he used them to pass a 3-week absence test, and he came back to find his business had grown and eliminated $60,000 in monthly waste without him touching anything. Now these aren't productivity theories. These are family-saving, marriage-protecting, life-reclaiming transformations. They're that big. Now here's what most founders get backwards. They think that systems will make them rigid, controlling, and micromanaging. But the opposite is true. Systems will make you free. When your business has a structure, you don't need to provide constant oversight. When processes are documented, you don't need to be this walking encyclopedia of how everything works. Structure is the enemy of freedom. Structure isn't the enemy of freedom, it's the foundation of it. And your family feels the difference between a father who's controlled by chaos and by one who's freed by systems. And that's exactly why I put together this book called Buy Back Time Formula. It teaches how to eliminate the chaos that's stealing your family time, how to automate intelligently so that technology works while you rest, and how to delegate outcomes so that your team owns success instead of it depending on you. Now, if you've tried to be a prisoner, if you're that you built wishing that it would give you freedom, These systems are your escape plan. So start right here, start building your freedom. buythattimeformula.com/YT book, because your family deserves a father who's present, not just successful. And your business deserves better systems that work without you so that you can finally enjoy what you've built. So go get the book. Once you implement one of the strategies, you will be set free for life. Trust me, you're going to get hooked. You're going to want to do this for everything in your life. So get started right now, and I'll see you on the inside.